News in Region 7. Welcome back to Metis Minute. I am your host, Samantha Loney. Today, we are starting our coverage of the Metis Nation of Ontario's Women's Council election. This election is province-wide, and each region will be electing their regional representative to be on the MNOWC Women's Council. In Region 7, we have two candidates who are running for MNOWC's Women's Council representative, Suzanne Fraser and Michelle Lavallee Rae. Today, we bring you our interview with Michelle, where we discussed their candidacy and why you should vote in this women's election. Yeah, so thank you for sitting down with me. I wanted to give you a chance maybe for some voters who don't know who you are, if you want to introduce yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. My name is Michelle Lavallee Rae. I was born in Etobicoke, but I moved to Barrie in 1998 with my husband and three children. My Métis roots come from communities along the Red River. My dad was born in St. Ambrose and came to Ontario when he was a very young man. So my Métis heritage includes the Lavallee, Ducharme, and Lamarande families, all founding members of St. Ambrose. And my grandfather and his father were also skilled hunting and trapping guides in St. Ambrose and surrounding areas, and prominent figures in Manitoba's Métis cultural scene. Even my grandfather, he was a talented fiddler, and he taught many Métis musicians who are around today. So we're very proud of that.
Perfect. Yeah, and of course the fiddle, everybody.
My brother was lucky enough to inherit it. So yeah, I'm a little jealous.
Oh yeah, I think every man in my mom's family, like that's my Métis side, comes from her, is everybody plays the fiddle. So
Of course. And my dad used to, step dance. And when we had family get-togethers or weddings or anything like that, yeah, he'd go on the floor and, do a step dancing. I never learned though. I tried, but I think there's some pictures of me when I was about 3 or 6 doing that. But and my grandmother, she spoke Michif, and
mm,
um, but when I was young, I didn't understand what it was. It's like it kind of sounds French, but it wasn't. And yeah, my mom would explain to me that it was the Michif language. So unfortunately, my dad really didn't carry it on with us. So I'm still trying to learn a lot of the words today. So yeah, it's certainly an education.
oh yeah, my uh great grandmother spoke like Michif French, and it used to be like known as, yeah, like bad French, right?
Right,
Because it's like, oh, it
exactly.
doesn't sound like French, but it kind of is.
Well, because I understood French, because my dad spoke French as well, so I understood the French part of it, but I thought when grandma speaks, it's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing your family story. Yeah, maybe you want to tell us a bit about your like personal experience or professional experience that you have that you think makes you a good candidate to represent Region 7.
Well, when my children were younger, I was actively involved with the local sports organizations, such as Barrie Hockey and the lacrosse associations. I've also held leadership roles. I served as assistant coach and president of the Barrie Ringette Association when my daughter played for over 10 years, and a secretary for my local Scouts Canada chapter many years ago when my boys were young. Um, Professionally, I've had a career with the Ontario Petroleum Contractors Association, where I've served as executive director for over 22 years now. My role involves overseeing various initiatives, including managing safety programs for the petroleum industry across Canada. Additionally, I chair the Petroleum-Oriented Safety Training Advisory Committee. When we it highlights my leadership in enhancing safety standards within the industry. And through this work, I also have experience working with and advocating to government.
Perfect. Yeah, that definitely is an asset. Yeah, and so maybe if you want to talk about what are some of the issues that you think women are facing in Region 7 today.
I'm sure there's many issues, especially from health and welfare to supporting them in workplace and business challenges. I hope to learn more about these issues women are facing through the council and just ensure they know they can come to the council, and that we're there to listen. So I know there's a lot of good work the council's already doing to promote things like that, and especially women's issues. And I just hope to be, part of that and contribute in some way. And definitely, promoting, women's health and especially entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and you spoke a bit about, yeah, like an asset being maybe kind of advocating and working with the government. Yeah, how do
Exactly.
you plan to, yeah, maybe address issues that women are facing, like, and advocate for them? Is that part of a way you would hope to advocate?
Yeah, I hope the council would find common ground on some of these issues and, and then formulate a plan. So that's, we would have to, discuss these and then formulate an action plan to move forward. There are many ways we could advocate, like going through the local government, holding local events or participating in local events, social media, of course, and, just expanding our reach to our members. I know the council supports many events through the MNO, and I just hope to contribute to promoting, for instance, women-owned businesses.
Yeah, and one of the things I talked to a lot of candidates about during the PCMNO election was if they would support the Women's Council having a seat at the PCMNO, because obviously that would help them advocate more and get more done for women. Do you think if you become Region 7 rep, is that something that you would advocate for?
I definitely support the Women's Council being represented on the PCMNO. It just makes sense. I would be happy to work with, the other council members to form an action plan, to advocate this to the PCMNO, including any communication and presentations to the Provisional Council, highlighting the reasons why we should be represented. That's kind of my niche with, what I do for work. So I hope I can, contribute in that way.
Yeah, and you mentioned women's health a bit earlier. So some of the events in Barrie, at least, and in I know in Midland, we've had this as well. Collaborations with local hospitals. The RVH was an event that we held a couple months ago in November. Yeah, and cancer screenings and education for women's health. Do you hope to continue these collaborations to assure women's health issues are being addressed?
Absolutely. I feel very strongly about advocating for women's health. I see many issues with women, finding necessary care or even diagnoses. I would hope to assist in any way I can, including meeting with health providers and professionals on behalf of the council, and again, helping with any communication and promotion, as needed.
Yeah, and you mentioned business as well, but are there, yeah, any other collaborations with organizations or institutions that if you were to become Region 7 rep, you'd want to collaborate with?
I know the council, already collaborates with a lot of, businesses and organizations. Excuse me. So I would like to learn more about the current collaborations that the council has and work with them to address any gaps where we're underrepresented or even marginalized. This could be working with women's shelters, organizations that help empower women in business. There's the Business Professional Women of Barrie. I think we've seen a huge surge of women entrepreneurs, and I would like to foster any support where needed, obviously focusing on Métis women who are trying to get their businesses off the ground.
Yeah, and how do you hope to engage more women in the region? I know, civic engagement is something we're trying to build and community involvement. So, yeah, how do you plan to engage more women in the region to ensure that all women in the region are being presented?
And that's definitely a challenge to get people engaged and participating in their, councils or organizations. Um, but we just want to make sure they're well represented. And, there's a few key strategies that we can look at. Obviously, educating them about their rights, offering support and mentorship, improving the accessibility for them through digital platforms and social media, and involving them in community activities. By implementing some of these strategies, we can help to ensure that women are not only represented but also actively involved in shaping policies and decisions that affect their lives and communities.
Yeah, and of course, civic engagement, as we just talked about. But yeah, why is it important for women to vote in this election?
It's crucial. It's crucial for women to vote for several reasons. It ensures they're represented and, can lead to policies that address issues specifically affecting women. And when you hear these issues, sometimes, you think you're on a certain path, or the council, could think they're on a certain path. But, when having these discussions and conversations, it might create new ideas, to address, or new issues to address. So that's why, voting and participating is so important. Voting empowers women, and it also acknowledges the achievements, all the achievements we have made. It also shows, support to the candidates that align with their values, and it just results in better representation for them.
Yeah, I agree. I always encourage people to vote. Yeah, any last words for voters?
Um, yes, I just, I hope to contribute to the great work that the MNOWC is doing now, and I would be honored to serve on the council and be part of the community. So I look forward to participating. So thank you, Samantha.
Merci to Michelle for sitting down with us today. We hope this interview was able to give you a bit more insight into Michelle's campaign for MNO Women's Council Region 7 representative. As we know, Métis women are the backbone of our community, so we hope you're able to get out and vote. Those eligible to vote in this election are female identifying Métis citizens above the age of 16. The election runs from August 7th to 14th, and there are two ways that you can get out and vote. One is online through One Feather, and the other is by calling the phone number if you are uncomfortable voting online. We hope you go get out and vote to show your support for the Women's Council. Merci for watching, and we'll see you down the river.